I'm Kerrod here at the Joondalup Resort, and today we're going to be talking about how where you angle your toes can affect the way you swing the golf club. Let's get into it. Now, all throughout history, there's many different types of styles and what we would call swing DNAs. Players that have had narrow stances and won major championships, players that have wide stances, toes that are flared out, toes that are flared in, and everything in between. But today we're going to be talking about how you can implement a little bit of toe flare in your golf swing to really improve the quality of your ball striking and the consistency in which you swing that golf club. So starting off, what does toe flare allow us to do? Well, if I have my toes straight on, as I make a golf swing, they may limit, pending how much rotation you're able to create through the hips, that may have a limiting effect. So for example, if I wasn't that mobile between my lower body and my upper body and my toes were too straight on, that may reduce the amount that I'm able to turn my shoulders. That may also reduce the amount that in the backswing I'm able to extend my trail leg. From there, this can have a follow-on effect. For example, if I don't turn my lower body enough, my arms are going to tend to lift. As you can see, they move too vertically up, and that can be the beginning of a very typical slicing motion in which a player would cut across the golf ball. So very commonly, I'll get players that come in and they'll have their toes even sometimes slightly turned in, such as this. And this really inhibits their ability to turn throughout the golf swing. Not only that, is there only so much power you can create from this position here where the toes are turned in. Now, if you relate it to any other sport, let's say if we're playing tennis or we're playing baseball, you would tend to stand with your toes flared out. The reason being is it's a more powerful position and it's actually easier to move around and create more stability, rotation, and force from this position. So standing with your toes flared out, that essentially is going to enable us to create a big turn. It's going to enable our right leg to straighten, our left leg to flex, and our shoulders to complete a full rotation. From there, it's also going to enable us to stay relatively balanced throughout the motion. If I have my toes too turned in, it's very easy for me to shift laterally off the ball and then also slide in towards the ball. One of the big reasons being is where we angle our toes, well, that has a direct effect on where my knees are pointing. So for example, if my toes are pointing straight on, you can see that naturally for myself, my knees are slightly pointing in. Now this is going to have a limiting effect on my golf swing, and you can see it doesn't look as powerful. So what I would tend to do with my golf swing is I'm going to tend to have about 15 degrees of flare with my right foot and anywhere up to 30, even not more, with my left foot. And you can see from this position here, that puts my kneecaps in an outward facing position. And then for myself, as I swing this golf club back and then down towards the golf ball, that helps me stay more centered as I make my backswing. It's also going to help me increase the amount of turn that I'm able to create, because the more that I open up that back foot, that allows a deeper hip turn. Also, the more that I open up this front foot, that allows far more rotation on the way through. So pending your mobility, we can add toe flare to increase your ability to turn. So if I'm standing here and I'm a very mobile player, I may not need to flare my toes nearly as much to get a full range of motion as maybe someone who is stiff, who's an office dweller. They might need to have a considerable amount of flare to allow them to create a big enough turn so then they can create the speed that they desire. So as you can see, how much we flare our toes can have a significant effect on our ability to turn, rotate, and then create power in the golf swing. So use some of what you've learned today, implement it into your practice, play around with different amount of toe flare to see how that feels, hit some shots, and you might find that it just allows you to turn a little bit better, stay in balance, and hit some better golf shots. Until next time, I'm Kerrod. Please like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.